The first thing nobody ever warned me about when I started wearing high heels was the attention from men. Not the cute, harmless kind people talk about online. I mean the real attention. The kind that makes you feel powerful one moment and uncomfortable the next. The kind that teaches you things about people, about yourself, and about boundaries faster than you expect. I've been wearing high heels for about 15 years now. And when I look back, it feels like I grew up in them. Not just physically, but emotionally. Heels didn't just change how I dressed. They changed how I was seen. They changed how I moved through the world. And in ways I never planned, they even changed my relationship with my husband. When I bought my first proper pair of heels, I didn't think of any of this. I just liked how they looked. I liked how they made my legs look longer. I liked how they made simple clothes feel special. I didn't know that slipping my feet into those shoes would slowly reshape my confidence, test my patience, and force me to learn things about myself the hard way. At the beginning, I wore heels for the wrong reasons. I wanted to be noticed. I wanted to feel attractive. I wanted that small rush you get when someone looks twice. And yes, the attention from men came almost immediately. Men stared more. Men talked more. Men suddenly found reasons to start conversations that had nothing to do with anything. At first, I enjoyed it. It felt like proof that the heels were working. That I looked good. That I mattered in a way I didn't before. When you're young, that kind of validation can feel addictive. You tell yourself it's confidence, but sometimes it's just approval dressed up as confidence. But attention has weight. And after a while, I started to feel it. There were days I just wanted to go out, do my thing, and come back home without feeling watched. There were moments when smiles turned into comments, and comments turned into expectations I never agreed to. I learned very quickly that heels can make people assume things about you. They assume you're available. They assume you're confident all the time. They assume you want to be looked at. That was my first big lesson with high heels. Wearing them means learning how to own your presence without apologizing for it. I had to learn how to stand firm, how to shut things down politely, and sometimes not politely at all. I had to learn that confidence isn't about enjoying attention. It's about staying grounded even when it comes. And then there was the learning curve. Nobody talks enough about how hard heels are at the beginning. The blisters, the sore calves, the shaky ankles, the slow, careful steps because you're scared of falling. I remember practicing walking at home like it was a skill I needed to master. Because it was. I fell a few times. Not dramatic falls, but enough to bruise my pride. I chose the wrong sizes. I chose the wrong heel heights. I wore heels to places I absolutely shouldn't have. I stayed out longer than my feet could handle because I didn't want to admit I was in pain. There were nights I came home and kicked my heels off like they were enemies. There were mornings when my feet still hurt from the day before, but I wore them again anyway. Not because I had to, but because I felt like they were part of who I was becoming. Struggle was a big part of my journey with heels. Physical struggle, yes, but emotional too. There were times I questioned why I was doing this to myself. Why I was choosing discomfort. Why I was letting something so small affect my mood, my energy, my confidence. And slowly things changed. I stopped wearing heels to impress anyone. I stopped wearing them just for attention. I started wearing them for myself. I learned which heels worked for my body. I learned when to say no to pain. I learned that confidence isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's choosing comfort. Sometimes it's choosing heels anyway, but on your own terms. And somewhere along this journey, my relationship came into the picture. Before my husband, heels were mostly about how the outside world saw me. After him, they became something more personal, something shared in a strange way. He noticed how I walked differently in heels. He noticed how my posture changed. He noticed how my mood shifted when I felt good in them, and when I didn't. At first, I thought he just liked how they looked. And yes, he did. But over time, I realized it went deeper than that. Heels became part of how we connected. When I wore them, I felt confident. When I felt confident, I showed up differently in our relationship. I spoke more openly. I carried myself with assurance. I felt attractive, and that energy carried into how we treated each other. There were also moments of care. Moments when he noticed I was tired and told me to take them off. Moments when he helped me walk after a long day. Moments when he understood that heels weren't just shoes to me. They were part of my identity. High heels taught me vulnerability in my relationship. Letting someone see you wobble. Letting someone see you tired. Letting someone see you without the strong posture and lifted chin. And instead of pushing us apart, it brought us closer. Over 15 years, heels became a timeline of my life. Different pairs for different versions of me. The insecure version. The bold version. The version learning boundaries. The version of learning balance. The version of learning love. I don't wear heels every day anymore. And when I do, it's intentional. I know what they mean now. I know what they do to me and what they don't do. They don't define my worth. They don't guarantee confidence. They don't owe anyone anything. But they remind me of how far I've come. From craving attention to controlling my presence. From pain to understanding my limits. From wearing heels for the world to wearing them for myself. And sharing that confidence with my husband in a way that feels real and grounding. If there's one thing 15 years in high heels taught me, it's this. Heels don't change who you are. They reveal it. They show you how you handle attention, how you deal with discomfort, how you carry confidence, and how you let someone love you fully in all versions of yourself. Watch the next video.